That means that God is not, as it were, a means to an end, but God is both the means and the end. You don't use God to get what you want, but as you love God, you get what you want. This is so important. God is not what you use. He's not a personality you can use. You don't use God to get what you want. But as you love God, you cannot lack what you want. That is why it becomes so important that you and I tune up our hearts. Because when our heart is right with God, life cannot be wrong with you. Everything about life goes right when your heart and my heart is right with God. That's why the Bible tells us in Romans chapter 8 and verse 28, it said, all things work together for good. To who? Those who are called according to his purpose and those who love him. It cannot go wrong with a man whose heart is right with God. When our hearts are right with God, our lives go right on the earth. This is so important. So the genuineness of our love for God is the vital difference maker in our adventure on the earth. 1 Corinthians 13 verse 1 to 3. The Bible paints a very powerful picture here. It said, though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not charity, I've become a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. It said, and though I have the gift of prophecy and understand mysteries and all knowledge, and although I have all faith that I could remove mountains and I have no charity, I am nothing. He said, and though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give even my body to be burned, and I have not charity, it profited me nothing. The value of everything that we do in the kingdom is determined by our love for God. The genuineness, the authenticity of our love for God. I pray that this morning for each one of us, there will be a fresh baptism of the spirit of love upon our lives. That we will not just be acting like we love him, but our heart will be proving that we love him. Somebody believe God, say a loud amen. I said somebody believe God, say a loud amen. You see, it's important for us to understand that it is possible to have activity without connectivity. But it's impossible to have connectivity without activity. You cannot genuinely love God and not do something to prove it. But there are people who act like they love, but genuinely they do not love. That is why God is trying to, in this season, repackage you and I, so that our love for God becomes unquestionable, becomes unshakable, becomes authentic. As a result of that, we begin to see the wonders of God surrounding every department of our lives. That will be somebody's experience here. In the name of the Lord.